Hey, everybody. Good to see you all. I'm Mrs. Brooks, and I'm here to share a story with you, one that maybe some of you are familiar with. And the story is about David and Goliath. So let me start. All right, we're going to start right here. This fella right here, his name is King Saul. King Saul was king of the Israelites. Now, the Israelites didn't really get along with the Philistines very good. And that's because the Philistines had so many giants. And one of the giants, one of the strongest and biggest giants, was named Goliath. Look at Goliath. He was like 9 feet tall. He was huge. And Goliath dressed in full armor. Goliath was a soldier his whole life. Each morning and each evening for 40 days, Goliath used to holler, "Hey, Israelites, who's gonna fight me?" And he said, if the Israelites won, Goliath and all the Philistines would have to be slaves to the Israelites. This is David. David was a shepherd. And so David spent a lot of time tending to the sheep. And David's brothers had to go into town to fight Goliath. Well, David's father was very, very worried about his brothers. And so David's father said, "Hey, David, why don't you head into town and check out how your brothers are doing and bring them some food?" So that's what David did. When David arrived, Goliath was still challenging like he did every morning, but nobody would fight him. David wondered why no one challenged him, and David said, "I'll fight Goliath." Somebody told King Saul about what David said, and Saul approached David and told him, "No, you're too young, you're too small, you can't fight Goliath." But David said, "Hey, when I'm watching my shepherds, I have to fight bears, I have to fight lions, I'm not afraid of Goliath." So Saul says, "All right, you can fight Goliath." What David said he needed is he just needed to go find some stones, and he had a really cool slingshot. So that's all he said he needed, but he did need one more thing. He knew that he had God on his side. He knew that the Lord was walking with David, and the Lord had told him that as long as the Lord is on your side, you don't have to be afraid of anything. David trusted that God was going to keep him safe. Goliath looked so giant compared to the boy David, and everyone was so sure that Goliath was going to win. But you know what? David approached Goliath without fear because he believed in God. He took one of those smooth stones and put it into a slingshot, and he let the slingshot go, and it knocked Goliath right in the head, and Goliath fell down. David had done it. He beat Goliath, the giant Philistine. The rest of the Philistines saw what happened and they ran away. And David became a hero, and everybody loved David. Sometimes in your lives, I know that there's going to be things that you're afraid of. Maybe you have some challenges, some problems, or some fears. But you know what? The Bible teaches us that if we have God on our side, if God is in our hearts and we walk with the Lord, nothing's impossible. So think about this week. Think about who or what are your Goliaths, and how are you going to make sure to pray to God and make sure to let the Lord help you when faced with your giants. Have a great week. Remember, you're loved.